It has been 52 days since I started Midnight Sun. I haven't gone outside. I haven't seen another person. Why is it so long? Why is Edward not going to therapy? 52 days. I've lost 52 days.
Hello and welcome to my Midnight Sun video.
I don't know what to say. I'm gonna be honest, this was not a video that I had intended on filming. Just because when I first picked up this book that this video is about, if you read the title, you will know, Midnight Sun. When I first picked up Midnight Sun, I had fully intended on finishing it in maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, maybe 4 days max. No, it's been around 50 days since I first started reading this.
What the heck?
I wish I were kidding. 50 days. Yeah. It's actually quite embarrassing, like, how long it's taken me to read this. I don't really have, like, a good reason for not... Actually, yes, I do. I have many reasons for not continuing to read this book, or not finishing this book, I should say. Number one, Midnight Sun is so boring. The whole thing is just, well, I'm only halfway through, I should say that. I'm only about like 300 something pages through. But the first 300 pages, which I just want to add is about the size of the first Twilight book, first 300 pages is just...
literally nothing.
Edward being an idiot. All of the problems in this book could be fixed if Edward just decided to go to therapy. And he's so creepy towards Bella, and he's creepy in a way that you really don't get to see in the original Twilight saga, because obviously Bella, it's a first-person narration, so Bella isn't aware fully of how weird Edward is as a character and as a person. Edward is a creep, we all knew that, but reading Midnight Sun, or at least the first half of Midnight Sun, you really internalize how big of a creep Edward is. Another thing that I really have hated so far is how long it is. The first Twilight book is, I think, like 300 pages. This is pushing 700. It does not need to be 700 pages. There are so many sections that are just drawn out, unnecessarily drawn out. And it makes it so difficult to get through unless you're a really like hardcore Twilight fan, or if you're going through like a Twilight
phase
right now where you're just really into the Twilight saga for whatever reason. Unless you fall into one of those two categories, this is a really hard book to read. You need to be really invested in the Twilight saga to be invested in this book. So I don't really care about Edward. There are some points in the book where I think he's like,
oh, that's really cute.
But then he does something that's just so strange, like sneaking into Bella's house every night just to watch her sleep.
That's weird.
And also something he does is follows... Edward can read minds, right? He follows other people's conversations that they have with Bella, and he like tracks her the entire day. But yeah, that was a super long tangent about why I haven't vibed with this book for the first 336 pages. Anyway, the point of this video, I think I'm gonna split it up half and half as like a vlog portion when I'm trying to finish this, and as a casual review portion in the latter half. You may be wondering,
Amanda, why don't you just DNF this book if you hate it so much?
No.
I am so committed to finishing this book. I'm not gonna DNF it. I've already put too much time and energy into this god-awful book. I don't want that to all be for nothing. You know, I want to be able to say that I've finished it and then I've read Midnight Sun. So yeah, here we are. I'm gonna force myself to finish the last half of this book, and in the review section, I'm gonna tell you what I liked. My goal is to finish this book, today. It's currently just after 4 o'clock. You can really tell that I've been procrastinating picking this up the entire day. I wanted to start this in the morning, like at 11 or maybe 10:30, but here we are, 4 p.m. I have not even read a single page of this book. And honestly, I just want to finish this book so I can move on to bigger and... No, not bigger things, because I don't want to read another book that's as big as this one. Actually, the length isn't even an issue, it's just, it's boring. If it were action-packed, the whole book, and it were 700 pages, I could get behind it, but it's so boring. Nothing happens, ever. For the rest of the afternoon and into the night, I'm going to be attempting to finish this book all in one go. I do not want to have to think about this book tomorrow. Actually, I'll have to film the review section tomorrow, but... I do not want to have to think about this book after tomorrow.
Period. Poo.
Shut up. Oh my god, stop looking at me.
So, fun fact, actually really sad fact, I ended up taking a nap shortly after I filmed my 4 o'clock introduction, which was toxic of me because then I did not get very far into reading it, and then I had to eat dinner because that's something that I have to do, and then I had to do some schoolwork because that's also something that I have to do, and here we are now, almost 1 in the morning, and I'm on page 500, chapter 22, right when Victoria, what's his face, Laurent, and what's his name? James. Victoria, Laurent, and James have just shown up. So I think the last like 150 pages is gonna be pretty fast paced from what I remember from reading Twilight. I don't know how much I'm gonna keep reading for tonight just because I need to get up early to do schoolwork tomorrow. That's always fun.
Live, laugh, love.
Ahaha.
Pain.
What I have thought about the last 200 pages or so that I've read, I don't know. The only good parts about this book, which are actually really interesting, is how Edward interacts with his family and getting to learn more about the backstory behind some of the Cullens. You really get to learn about Rosalie and Alice and Carlisle in a way that you don't really get to read about in the original saga. I found it a little bit ironic how Edward confessed about doing all of this really creepy shit towards Bella and she just doesn't care. I think that's odd, because if I found out that a love interest of mine was stalking me and following me around and reading other people that I communicate with, reading their thoughts, that's a red flag. But Bella, our girl Bella, she doesn't care. She's a dumb bitch and she just doesn't care that he's basically stalking her and dismissing it as protecting her. But I feel like I should also say that Edward is an unreliable narrator, so we don't really get to see other people say,
Edward, what you're doing is fucking creepy. Stop it.
No one ever really says that. Another thing that I find kind of weird is how Edward communicates with his family through like thoughts. I get communicating through thoughts if it's a private conversation, but Esme could tell Edward,
Go put on a jacket.
telling Edward to go put on a jacket isn't a huge secret. It's not shocking or scandalous. She's literally just telling Edward to go put on a jacket, but she thinks it for some reason. I just find that very weird, and a little bit unnecessary. Like, wouldn't their default just be to talk? You know, just verbally talk? Are there any more judgments that I have about this? I can't think of anything else. Honestly, I'm really tired and I just want to go to bed. So that is what I'm gonna do. And what about it? I don't care what you think.
Amanda is aggressive because Amanda is tired.
Okay, good night.
Cause I be the baddie beat, Barbie tank, banging body beat, everybody.
Hello. I just woke up. It's about 9:30, I think. I'm gonna get straight into reading Midnight Sun right now.
Cat.
And yes, I'm wearing the same thing that I wore yesterday. Pretend you don't see it.
They still see it.
Okay, I'm gonna get into reading Midnight Sun now. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say besides Midnight Sun time.
Cat.
That was so cute.
Did it out of spite. He got a wife, but she ain't the one he like.
I did it. I finished Midnight Sun after 2 months.
Wow.
I'm done. The amount of, let's call it, relief that I feel right now is immeasurable. I cannot believe that I'm finally done with Midnight Sun and I don't have to think about it ever again. So without further ado, I think we should just get into the review. Shall we? This review is going to have zero structure. I'm literally just going to be talking. I envision my future book review videos to have a little bit more structure, but honestly, that's not what kind of video this video is going to be. And at this point, you should just accept it. I have accepted it, and you should accept it too. Anyway, Midnight Sun. Let's talk about the things that I did like first. I do think that if you compare Midnight Sun to the first Twilight book, which I read back in May, so it's still a little bit fresh in my mind, when you're comparing those two books, there is a noticeable increase in the quality of writing from Twilight to Midnight Sun, which is kind of inevitable because Twilight was published in like 2004 or something. This was published in 2020. Stephenie Meyer has obviously grown as a writer, and it's noticeable. I think the sentence structure flows a lot better. However, one thing I do want to critique about the writing is that there were times when scenes dragged on, and by dragged on, I mean dragged on. What would take like a page to read in Twilight would take like 5 pages in Midnight Sun. It was a little bit ridiculous and it made the book really hard to get through. But another thing that I loved about Midnight Sun was the inclusion of the Cullen family. Obviously, if you're getting Edward's point of view, you're going to get more interactions with the Cullens and learn more about their backstory and their histories. I also talked about this in the vlog footage. I'm quickly realizing that I'm not going to have a lot to talk about in this section of the video. Whatever. I thought it was really interesting to read about each character's past in a way we really didn't get to see in the original series. Oh, there is one thing. I don't know if any like hardcore Twilight stans can verify this, but Edward tells Bella about Rosalie's past, but I had the impression that Bella didn't really learn about Rosalie's past until Eclipse. Am I wrong? Did I notice a plot hole? Because if I recall, when we read Eclipse, that's when we really got to learn about the in-depth information about how Rosalie became a vampire. But here in this book, it looks like Edward told her the entire story. I don't know if I missed that in Twilight or if I just read over it, but I was kind of like stumped by that section and I was a little confused because I thought that Bella didn't learn about all of that information until the third book. I don't know, could be wrong. I could be a fake fan. I think this whole video has just proved that I'm a fake fan. I really did enjoy the parts with the Cullens. I feel like most Twilight fans could agree when we say the Cullen family is the most interesting part of the series. And it's actually really a shame because you have all of these characters with really interesting and complex histories, but we focus on Bella and Edward, which arguably they are more interesting in the books than they are in the movies. However, they're still not as interesting as the side characters. And yeah, that's why it was a little bit hard to get through this book because there was no plot, really. You could say this for Twilight as well. There's not really a plot until like the last 75% of the book, which means if you're not really invested into Bella and Edward's love story, you're probably going to struggle getting to the action-y parts with Victoria, James, and Laurent. Yeah, you're gonna struggle. Another thing I have also said before is Edward is so weird. Stephenie Meyer tries to rationalize it, and Edward has these moments where he's like, I'm such a creep. I'm so weird. But he continues to do those creepy and weird things. Does he have no self-restraint? And just the way he talks about Bella or like regards Bella. And I know this gets better later on in the series, but he thinks of Bella as like this child, which I guess it's kind of true because he's like 100-something years old. But he talks about Bella like she's an idiot who can't make choices for herself, which I guess you could say is true about movie Bella, but book Bella I feel like is very capable of making her own decisions and has shown and displayed bravery in a lot of situations. She's sarcastic, she's funny, she's capable. Edward has this really protective sense over Bella, and I think Stephenie Meyer tries to play off that like protective quality as attractive, and sometimes it is, but there's other times where it's really like, that's so gross. Bella, run. But she doesn't run because even though I think you could say that Bella is smart, she is also a dumb bitch. She is a sometimes smart, dumb bitch because she makes stupid decisions. But Book Bella, I feel like, is very capable of making her own decisions and has shown and displayed bravery. Edward literally says, yeah, I'm a vampire. Yeah, I stalk you in your sleep. Yeah, I follow you around in other people's thoughts. And what about it? And Bella, how she responds is just like, okay. And what about it? It's kind of just really weird because you see Bella, she's not stupid, she's good at school, she's obviously intelligent, but I don't think she has really, but then I was gonna say she doesn't have good problem-solving skills, but she came up with the whole plan for her to go to Phoenix, so obviously she's a good, like, strategist. Maybe love has just blinded her. I don't know. I can't relate. I just see all of Edward's flaws and I'm like, Bella, you dumb bitch. That's all I thought this whole book is, Bella, you dumb bitch. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of that is like missed opportunity for angst, because wouldn't it be so much more exciting if Bella actually said,
That's fucking weird, Edward. Stay the fuck away from me. Goodbye.
if she said that, Edward would have to fight to win her back. There would be more conflict in the first 75% of the book. There would be more action and excitement, because then we would be like, how is Edward gonna win her back? Will Edward win her back? The way it's currently written, Bella just seems... There's so many contradictions in her character. Again, I was gonna say Bella seems like the type to let someone just walk all over her when she has like a crush, or if she's like in love with someone. But also, I don't get the sense that she would let someone walk all over her. Like, she's smart. She's a smart person, but she's also stupid. I guess I can relate to that as well, because I would consider myself smart sometimes, but I'm also very dumb. Am I Bella?
Shut up.
This review is all over the place. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. What else do I have to say that I haven't already said yet? I really can't think of anything. It's hard with this book because, like, everyone has read Twilight. Everyone's read the Twilight saga, so I can't really critique, like, the actual plot, because at this point it is what it is. It's not going to change. It's not anything new to me. Just for context, when I read Twilight back in May, I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. Because I really enjoyed reading it, I read it in like a day. I was so into the story. And I think why I was more into Twilight than I was Midnight Sun is Twilight, the pace is just so much faster. The page count is almost half of what Midnight Sun is, making it a lot more digestible than what Midnight Sun is. So I rated Midnight Sun 3 stars on Goodreads. Honestly, if I were to do this completely subjectively, I would probably give it 2 stars. However, I think part of why I had such a bad experience with this book is because it took me 2 months to read it and it put me in a reading slump. So obviously I'm not gonna have like positive feelings about Midnight Sun, but I took that into account with my reading, so I rated it 3 stars. Which honestly could probably be 3.5, but I'm giving it 3 stars. I'm sorry if this video was all over the place. I really just filmed it because I knew that if I had the pressure that I needed to film a video, I would be more pressured to actually read Midnight Sun. It's what I do with a lot of things. Like on my main channel, I filmed myself doing the Chloe Ting challenge to motivate me to do the Chloe Ting challenge. Otherwise, if I wasn't filming a video, I probably wouldn't have finished the Chloe Ting challenge. Yet I did, because I have that extra motivation of this video. Anyway, I'm talking shit now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Katya, by the way. I haven't introduced her on my main channel yet, but I will. Subscribe for my introduction. But this is Katya. I thought I would introduce her here as well, just in case she makes an appearance in future videos, because I love her so much. Katya, do you have anything to say? She is so soft-spoken and eloquent in her words. Okay, bye Katya. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Please comment something. Let's have a discussion. Have you read Midnight Sun? Did you like Midnight Sun? Did you hate Midnight Sun? Let's talk, because I would love to hear other people's thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you when I see you.
Bye.